right, guys. Example 1 says use the half angle formulas to find the exact value of each. Exact value means no calculator. Now, sine of 22.5 degrees, that's absolutely not on the unit circle that you were asked to memorize. But I can, guys, take something, right, some angle, and I'm going to divide it by 2. So what angle, when we divide by 2, equals 22.5? So I hope you said 45 degrees, right? So if you see this, students, when you guys agree that this is the same thing as sine of alpha over 2 or theta over 2, and hopefully you said, oh yeah, that looks like sine of theta over 2. And the identity for that is going to be plus or minus, right? 1 minus cosine of theta all over 2. The whole thing is still under the radical. So that means theta is 45 degrees, right, guys? Because that 45 degrees, that's on the numerator of your fraction. So if that's on the numerator, so theta is 45 degrees. Then with that said, we can use your formula. So your formula said, okay, start with a plus or minus. But how do you know it's plus or minus? You can only pick one. Well, 22.5 degrees is in quadrant number 1. And in quadrant 1, sine is going to be positive. 1 minus, well, theta is 45. So it's going to say cosine of 45 degrees all over 2. Now, I'm not going to write plus all the way through because, hey, if it's plus, there's no need to write that. Cosine of 45 degrees, guys, is rad 2 over 2. Dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by a half. So lowest common denominator, as you can see here, is going to be a rad 2 over 2. Common denominator, guys, is going to be 2. So we multiply top and bottom by 2. So that will leave us, somehow my computer is not letting me change the pen. Okay, so we'll just keep it the same pen. All right, 2 minus radical 2 all over 2 times a half. This is going to become 2 minus radical 2 all over 2 times 2 in the bottom is 4. But radical 4, guys, is going to be 2 in the bottom. On the top, there isn't anything we can do, so leave it as a big radical 2 minus little radical 2 all over outside, no radical 2, because you can't have a calculator. All right, let's do B. Cosine of 5 pi over 12, not something that you guys were asked to memorize on the unit circle, but it says use a half angle. So when you think of half angle, you divide by 2. So what angle, when you divide by 2, equals 5 pi over 12? Now, I hope you guys said 5 pi over 6, okay? The reason is that it's going to be 5 pi over 6. Dividing by 2 is kind of like multiplying by a half. So that's why it equals a 5 pi over 6, okay? So then that means theta is 5 pi over 6, because theta's on the top, right, guys? So this is the same thing as saying, okay, theta divided by 2. Which is, again, plus or minus big radical 1 plus cosine of theta all over 2. Okay, we'll save that space over there. All right, same process. 5 pi over 12, we have to decide what angle that is, okay? So this is pi, so pi is 12 pi over 12, that equals a pi. Now, denominator 12, this is 6 pi over 12. So 5 pi over 12, guys, is going to be in quadrant number 1. So in quadrant number 1, your answer, cosine and sine, will be both what? 5 pi over 12 is right here, quadrant 1, positive, okay? So we'll do positive. No, I'm not going to carry the positive throughout, but I'll just write it at first. 1 plus cosine, remember theta is 5 pi over 6, divided by 2, which equals to 1 plus, what's cosine of 5 pi over 6? Remember, 5 pi over 6 is in quadrant number 2. In quadrant 2, cosine's being negative, and then multiple of pi over 6. So if you have cosine of 1 pi over 6, that's going to be radical 3 over 2. But we're in quad 2, so it's going to be a negative radical 3 over 2. Okay, so now, remember dividing by 2, so it's multiplying by a half. Lowest common denominator is still the same, right? We're going to write 1. It's going to be 2, so we're going to have 2 right there. So this is going to be big radical. 2 minus radical 3, not 2, minus radical 3. Let me see if it'll let me erase. Oh, yes. All over 2 times 1 over 2. So on the bottom is square root of 4, but square root of 4 come out to be a 2. On the top, it's just going to be 2 minus square root of 3, and then all of that, guys, is going to be under the radical like that. Okay, let's move over to cosecant of 7 pi over 8. Let me erase a little bit of this line here, like this line. I drew it too long, so there you go. Let's get the pen back. Okay. I didn't give you a cosecant formula, but that's the same thing as 1 divided by sine of 7 pi over 6. I'm sorry, 8, which is 1 over sine. So let's divide by 2. What angle, guys, when you divide by 2 is exactly 7 pi over 8? Da, na, 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 na. Okay, 7 pi over 4. I hope you guys, that's what you guys got. All right, so guys, theta is 7 pi over 4. So this means we have 1 divided by sine of theta divided by 2, which your identity is going to say 1, right? Plus or minus big radical 1 minus cosine of theta divided by 2. Now we have to pick plus or minus, okay? 7 pi over 8. Remember, 8 pi over 8 is a pi, which is, let me draw that out. 8 pi over 8 is a pi, okay? 7 pi over 8 is like somewhere over here. So as you can tell, it's in quad 2. So in quad 2, sine is going to be positive. If sine positive, then cosecant is going to be positive, okay? So 1, oh, I just realized that all of this is positive, which is not the case. So I just want you to be really aware, okay? All right, cosine of theta. And remember, theta is 7 pi over 4, all over 2, which is 1 over big radical 7 pi over 4, y'all, that's quad number 4. So cosine is going to be a positive rad 2 over 2. Dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by a half. Same process, right? Your LCD is going to be a 2 here, okay? So that's going to give us 1 over big radical 2 minus radical 2 all over 4, right? And then this is going to be 1 over little radical 2 minus rad 2 divided by 2, because square root of 4 is 2. Now remember, whenever you guys are dividing by a 1, we're just going to flip it. So this is going to be now 2 over radical 2 minus square root of 2, like that. Now, if you guys can get here, this is amazing, okay? This is by far a very good answer. So I will take it if you guys can get yourself here. Now, if you guys can get yourself to, you know how to rationalize that, then I will probably give you guys bonus credit for understanding how to rationalize it. So to rationalize this, guys, again, you can box this up and be done. Be like, you know, I don't care for extra credit. So to rationalize this, we're going to multiply the same exact radical, because 2 radicals, right, will get it out of the big radical. So on the top, we would have 2 times 2 minus square root of 2. Now on the bottom, hopefully my pen is writing. Nope, it's frozen. Okay, so on the top is 2 on the outside times 2 minus square root of 2. Now 2 identical radicals, guys, will get rid of the radical. But guys, there's another radical. So this is a pair. So this is when we're going to multiply by the conjugate at the bottom. I know. This is why it says extra credit, right? All right. So now on the bottom is 2 times 2 is going to be 4 rad 2 times rad 2 is 2, so that's what that is right there. On the top, it's going to be 2 times square root 2 minus rad 2, and then the back end here, guys, is 2 plus rad 2. Okay, well, whoa, look at this, guys, and the bottom. Check out the bottom for me. 4 minus 2 is what? Is 2. You're right. Okay, so this becomes 2, and that 2 reduced with that 2. So now we got no more fraction, but it's still an ugly answer regardless. So 2 minus radical 2, and then outside of that is going to be 2 times to the quantity of that. Woo, woo. Box that up.